Hey, what's up, law players? So now that we have talked about the moves that could be done to enter DSS, and we have even talked about DSS being done from one of Law's parries, we've never really talked about the moves that could be done from DSS on their own. But we have already seen stuff like DSS 2 and Legend Kick in the last videos. This video will show all the moves that could be done from DSS, and you will find out that some moves could actually be done from DSS when you first thought that they don't. Alright, so sit back and enjoy the video. So I first want to start this video talking about the high options that could be done out of DSS. So the first move is DSS forward 2, which is just a regular old forward 2 but done from DSS. This is the fastest option that could be done out of DSS. And since this is the same forward 2 from neutral, it still retains the same frame data. The startup of this move is still 12 frames and 0 on block, which means that you can make people block this and still keep the momentum. Like for example, you can do a sidestep or a backdash, or you can even try to frame trap slow moves with jabs and magic force. But keep in mind that they can also do the same options at a neutral frame situation. And don't forget that this move still retains the extensions of regular forward 2, so you can make them second guess in pressing buttons after making them block this. Next is the second fastest move out of DSS, which is DSS 1. This comes out at 13 frames and has a mid and a high extension. The high extension is the Legend Kick extension, as we have previously seen in the parry video, and this is done by doing DSS 1 forward. And the mid extension is done by doing DSS 1 forward 1. This extension is just a DSS forward 1 but done immediately from a DSS 1. So you want to use this move if they're ducking DSS 1 4. These extensions are both guaranteed if you first land DSS 1, but if you get DSS 1 blocked, you can still choose to do them immediately in order to make them become uninterruptible, which can be used if they ever would want to press buttons after DSS 1. If they don't want to press buttons, do remember that you can still delay the extensions for a very long time. So you can make them think that you're already done with the move, and then boom, catch them with a delayed extension. Also, before I forget to tell you this, there will be some occasions when DSS 1 will trade hits. And before that happens, I want you to be prepared, because it can happen at any time. Don't forget to claim your free combo by dashing in and picking up a junkyard. So the third fastest DSS move is of course my favorite counter-hitting move out of DSS, which is DSS 2. As we have already talked about in the previous videos, you can frame trap people by doing this off while standing 4 and 4 free. And don't forget about wall splatting people after successfully parrying them at the wall. But note that this does look like Law's Dragon Hammer, forward 1+2, so people might mistake it for a mid when it's really high. So aside from looking like a mid, it does have a significant amount of pushback and block stun. So people might think that you're at plus range when you're really at -4. And with its pushback, sometimes people will try to rush in and then you can try and catch them with fast counter hit moves. Okay, so we have now talked about the 3 fastest moves that could be done out of DSS. Being the 3 fastest, they become the best moves to counter hit people with while in DSS. And as we have already seen, all 3 of them are highs. So the opponent can just duck and do a while standing punish to deal with all of them. But the thing is, DSS forward 2 recovers a lot faster than DSS 1 and 2. So if they ever want to launch DSS forward 2, they would have to instantly duck and also instantly do a while standing punish. It's not like after they duck DSS 1 and 2 where they can wait and confirm that you did either move and do a while standing punish. But if they try to confirm DSS forward 2, their while standing punisher is most likely gonna get blocked because DSS forward 2 recovers too fast. So if they ever become greedy and would like to launch DSS forward 2, they're gonna have to duck and do a while standing punish without confirming that you did DSS forward 2. So for example, if they do just that, but you did a DSS 2 instead, then they're gonna get caught by DSS 2 doing an early punish. And of course, this is gonna hurt a lot because DSS 2 is a counter hit launcher. Now if you didn't understand what I have said there, it kind of works the same way as Steve's down forward 2, which is a mid into a high, and his other move down forward 1-2-1, which is a mid into a delayed high. So with Steve, if you get conditioned into ducking and launching down forward 1-2, you're gonna get caught by down forward 1-1 because you're trying to punish him too early. And it works the same way as Law's DSS forward 2 and DSS 1 and 2. So now we're done talking about the best counter hitting tools that could be done out of DSS, and because they're all highs, you're bound to get ducked at some point. So we now want to talk about the mids that could be done out of DSS. So the first mid I want to talk about is DSS forward 1, and this move comes out at around 17 to 19 frames. This move tracks to Law's right side and has a large pushback, but it's still minus 14 on block. But there are still some matchups where this move is very hard to punish in the open field, like for example Mishima's. The easy punish for Kazuya is Tsunami Kicks down forward 4-4, but that's only if you did a single hit DSS forward 1. But if you do it, let's say from a while standing 4, then the while standing 4 is gonna push Kazuya back. And then when he tries to punish DSS forward 1, he's gonna whiff the first hit, and then you're gonna get to block the second hit. And the second hit is minus 15 by the way, so you get a free down forward 2. Another example is Brian, who needs to do a perfect forward 4-2 to make it come out at 14 frames, but that is very difficult for the Brian player to do. So the next mid is of course Law's number 1 move done from DSS, which is 3+4-4, or should we call it DSS 3+4-4. Of course, we have already seen this done off a counter hit while standing 4, but the 3+4 alone could be used as a fast uninterruptible mid option. But it does less damage than DSS forward 1, and will only wall splat if their back is really sticking to the wall. On block, this is around minus 12, but having the high extension will make some opponents want to duck after blocking this. And of course, if you have a hard read on the opponent ducking DSS, then by all means do the whole 3+4-4 for a nice launch. So the goal of DSS is never to really mix your opponent up with a mid and low mix-up, but rather, it's a should I press or not press buttons mix-up. We have already talked about the moves to catch your opponent pressing buttons, and now we want to talk about the moves that we want to use whenever they don't want to press buttons. Or in other words, they just want to respect. So the first option would be Law's DSS 2+4 throw, which is the only 2-break throw out of DSS. And by the way, the other throw out of DSS is DSS 1+3, which is a generic throw done from DSS. And that could be broken by pressing either 1 or 2. So you might as well just do DSS 2+4. At least that's not broken by either button, but only a 2. This doesn't give a quite good Oki situation after landing it, but it's still Law's only 2-break throw. You can instantly access this throw from neutral by doing down 1+2, and then while keeping both buttons held down, immediately press 4. So the next move you want to use when they don't want to press buttons is Legend Kick, which is the name of my channel. Legend Kick is done by pressing forward+4 while in DSS. Legend Kick is amazing on block as it gives Law a massive +7 frame advantage to do anything we want. Like for example, if they want to press buttons or step to Law's left, a down forward 2 is gonna launch them. Other moves such as down 4, hop kick, back 4, and throws have become uninterruptible as well. If you do a down back 3, keep in mind that it's gonna trade if they try a 10 frame move like jabs. But do be careful when playing against characters that have parries. Or moves like Yoshi's Flash, which could be used to interrupt moves that are slow enough. So if you ever come across a Yoshi who likes to use Flash every time they block Legend Kick, remember that you still have enough frame advantage to beat Yoshi's Flash with 12 frame or faster moves. The next move I want to talk about is Law's only low from DSS, which is DSS 4. I don't like this move very much because it's reactable due to its slow speed coming out at 24 frames. Not only that it's slow, it's also very linear and minus 14 on block. So this is very dangerous to use against characters with 14 or faster while standing launchers, like for example, Kazuya with his 13 frame while standing 1-2, Jin with his 14 frame while standing 2, and Bob with his while standing 2-1, which is also 14 frames, and Master Raven with her while standing 1. I could name a lot more, but I leave that to you to find out who they are. But DSS 4 on hit gives Law plus 5 frame advantage, but it still leaves the opponent pretty far away to continue the offense. And when you do land this as a counter hit, remember that you can do a dash into a free up forward 3+4 stomp. Or if you don't want to do a dash, just do a forward 3+4. This low isn't really that great, but it's still here in case you need a low from DSS. But as I have said before, DSS isn't really meant to be used as a mid and low mix-up, but rather it's a to press or not press buttons mix-up. Okay, so now we're done with the moves that you want to do whenever the opponent does not want to press buttons. Now we move on to Law's Power Crushes. As you may already know, Law has 2 Power Crushes and both of them are done from DSS. The first one is the High Power Crush DSS 1+2. But almost all the time, you're gonna do the input as DSS forward 1+2 when you do it from a transition move. The only time you want to do DSS 1+2 is when you do it off a manual DSS transition done as down and then double tap 1+2. Do note that when you land this, you get a free slide if you do it fast enough. And at the wall, you can get a wall combo, but the wall needs to be rather straight. You would have to do forward 4 free into Dragon Cannon. Remember to do forward 4 free and not a 4 free without a forward. You need to do this because the combo is not gonna land if you only did 4 free without a forward. Next is my favorite insane damage power crush, which is Dragon Cannon, or DSS forward 3. You can also do this power crush from neutral by doing forward 3. And you may have already seen this when doing Law's Bread and Butter Wall Ender. But it is -17 on block, so do not try to spam this because you're gonna get killed by a knowledgeable player if this gets blocked. So in the lower ranks, you may have seen a lot of Law players abuse the hell out of this move because they just get away unpunished most of the time. You can use this move to power crush and at the same time destroy duckers. But that is too much to risk because Law has other safer mids from DSS. But it is very rewarding with its very high damage and wall bounce potential. So now we move on to the moves which can be done in both neutral and in DSS. As you may already know, forward 2, 3+4, and forward 3 are free examples of these moves. So another move which could be done from both neutral and DSS is forward 3+4, which is only -2 on block and gives a nice counter hit launch. And as you can see, this is the only reliable low crush that could be done from DSS. But the problem is that this move is rather slow, which means that you can be floated if they try faster moves like jabs. And aside from it being slow, it's also very linear, so it could be stepped rather easily. And from experience, I've been using this whenever they want to high crush DSS with slow moves like sweeps, because sweeps are slow enough to get counter hit by this. So another one of Law's very good moves which could also be done in DSS is his Poison Arrow, forward 2 tilde 1. If you don't know it yet, this move is +5 on block, but it does have a big pushback. So the time you want to use this is only at the wall, because it's good either way whether they block or get hit by this. You win, because on hit you get a wall splat and on block you're at +5. On block, some good options to do are back 4 free, because back 4 free comes out at 14 frames and at +5 they can't do anything to interrupt that. So if they try to either step, duck, or press buttons, they're gonna get wall splatted by back 4 free. But remember, being at +5, they would need to move faster than 10 frames like Link's back 1 and Yoshi's flash to interrupt this. So if you ever come across a Link and a Yoshi who does this, the best option you can do is to bait these moves out by backdashing and wall splatting them with back 4 free. Also with Yoshi, you can also use Loss 1, 2, 3 to beat out Flash to score a wall splat. But this is not going to work on Link because of the fact that her back 1 has a built-in side step. But you can still use 3-4 to beat her back 1. So another good option after a blocked Poison Arrow is down forward 2, which is just used the same way as back 4 free. but without the risk of getting ducked and launched for it. This is because down forward 2 being safe at -7 on block. This will still wall splat people who try to step or press buttons. But do note that if they try a 10 frame move, the down forward 2 will trade, but you're still gonna get a wall combo nonetheless. But down forward 2 will not wall splat crouchers, because down forward 2 doesn't launch crouchers in the first place. But do note that if you hit them crouching, down forward 2 is still +4 on hit, so you can pretty much continue your offense. Next is another move which most of you don't know could be done from DSS, and that move is loss of forward 3+4, the ground hitting stomp. You can also use this stomp to low crush, but forward 3+4 is more reliable and safer. You can use this to stomp them on the ground in Oki situations. But do note that this is launch punishable on block, and can be easily backdashed if you use it in open field. But I do like using this whenever their back is to the wall, where they don't have room to backdash away. This surprises most opponents because you don't usually see the stomp being done from DSS. So the next two moves are the moves that are once in a blue moon done from DSS. I don't even see top players do them, to be honest, but they are here and they're still good to know that they exist. First move is lost back 3+4, which is lost backswing blow. While in neutral, this is used very situational. Like for example, you can use it to option select links forward 4-2-1 and forward 4-2-1 into backward cancel. And another example is Leo's back 1-4, where you can use it to avoid getting mixed up by Kinkei. I don't know why you would want to use this during DSS when you have far better options. And its backswing property isn't really that great like Fang's or Paul's backswings. And it's also launch punishable if they block this. So another good move to know that could also be done out of DSS is lost fake step parry, back 1+2. Since we already talked about this parry in the parry video, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But you may find some creative uses for this when you do it from DSS. So for the last part of this video, I want to talk about the weakness of DSS. And now that you're familiar with the best moves from DSS, it's time you know that they all have a common weakness, which is most of the best moves from DSS are weak to sidewalk right, or in other words, they don't track to lost left side. The best counter hit highs from DSS like DSS 1 and 2 don't have any tracking whatsoever. And the same is true for the mids like DSS forward 1, which only tracks to lost right but not to left. And I'm not gonna even talk about the other mids because they're all just very linear. But Law does have only one homing move from DSS, which is DSS 3. Now they even made this move a lot faster in Season 2, which before in Season 1 this was a lot slower than it is right now. So back then, they can easily sidestep and duck this on reaction, so thank goodness they buffed it. But remember that it's still a high which can be ducked. And another move from DSS which tracks, which I forgot to mention in the earlier part of this video, is DSS forward 2. It tracks but only to lost left side and not the right side. But again, it's another high and does very little damage on hit. You can however increase its damage if you do the extension by doing the move as DSS forward 2 back 2, which gives you a back turn mix up on hit. So if you're only watching this video to find out how to shut down lost DSS, well there you go, you just start sidewalking DSS to the right, because DSS only has two moves that track to lost left side, which are DSS 3 and DSS forward 2, which are both highs. So just start ducking once Law does his DSS homing moves. Ducking DSS isn't really bad in the first place because all its best counter hitting moves are highs. Well, that's it for DSS, you guys. That's gonna be the last video I make about DSS. If you learned a lot about lost DSS by watching my videos, leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me by typing it through the comments. I will try to answer them as soon as I can. Well, alright, have fun using DSS.